Back in the 1970s, my dad worked the overnight shift at a sheet metal fabrication plant. He got off work at 6 a.m. and would walk the 4 miles home. We were pretty poor most of my growing up. We rarely owned a car. One dark morning, he was walking up Hamilton Street toward the old Martin's Bakery. He saw a group of men up ahead standing in the shadows. Immediately, my dad had a feeling and was concerned for his safety. He prayed a quick prayer for God to protect him. The next moment, seemingly out of nowhere, a huge gray dog came alongside him and walked next to him just as he was approaching the men. As he got closer, the men stepped out onto the sidewalk in front of him and blocked his path. He saw sticks or clubs in their hands. Suddenly, he could hear the low growl of the dog. He looked down to see the dog baring his teeth, growling and drooling so much he was nearly foaming. My dad gently placed his hand on the back of the dog's neck. The men looked at my dad, looked at the dog, and walked past him, going on down the road. Dad kept walking with his hand on the dog until he got to the bakery. He often stopped in to get coffee, and he decided this morning he would, just so he could get his bearings after the scare. He kept his hand on the dog as they both walked into the bakery.
I'll have a coffee and a plain cake donut, and give me an extra one for my furry friend here.
The person behind the counter asked who he was talking about. My dad looked down to where his hand was on the dog, and the dog was gone. He ran out onto the street and looked both directions, but there was no sign of the dog anywhere. My dad is convinced that this dog saved him from being harmed. Whether it was a real dog that just happened along or an angel, we'll never know. But he's sure, and so am I, that it was a direct answer to his prayer for safety. Hey guys, thank you all so much for stopping by and listening to this really amazing story. This was a friend of mine's. She actually has one more quite amazing story, and I will be sharing that video soon, so please stay tuned for that. If you liked this story, please subscribe, and like I said, stay tuned for many more. My channel is growing slowly but surely, and while I'm not entirely sure where I'm going with everything, this will definitely be a regular thing as long as I can keep the stories coming. So stay tuned for Tarafying Tales, and check out some of my other videos. I am very new to this whole YouTube thing, but I am loving it so very much. So thank you so much for being here and listening, and I will post, like I said, the new video very soon.